Let me ask you something. How many AI tools are you currently paying for right now? For most people, it's never just one. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, maybe an image tool, a video tool, and before you know it, you are paying for 5 or 6 different platforms, easily spending over $100 a month. Now, imagine using one single platform, paying $10 a month, and still having access to all the same AI models and tools. If that sounds interesting, stick around because that's exactly what we're looking at today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through something called ChatLLM by Abacus AI. I've been using it for the past 2 weeks now, and I found it to be really interesting. At a high level, it's an all-in-one AI workspace that brings together most of the AI features you would normally use across multiple tools. Instead of switching between different websites, logins, and interface, ChatLLM puts everything into one single interface with one subscription, and in many cases, it's cheaper than paying for even one or two of these tools separately. Included in your $10 subscription, you get access to multiple large language models like Claude, ChatGPT. You get access to image and video generation with Sora 2, Nano Banana Pro. You get coding tools, you get AI agents, and much more. If you want to check it out and follow along, I have left a link in the description below and the pinned comment. Now, just a quick transparency before we continue. This video is being sponsored by ChatLLM. In saying that, I only agreed to this video because I've spent some time testing the platform and I'm comfortable sharing it because it truly solves a problem I think a lot of people have right now, which is AI tool overload. As always, you are under no obligation to buy anything. My goal here is simply to show you what it does, how it works, and then you can decide if it makes sense for you. With that out of the way, let's jump straight in. So here's how the interface looks like. Like most tools, I personally prefer using it in dark mode, but you can easily switch to light mode if you prefer. Now, let's start with one of the most useful features here, something called RouteLLM. ChatLLM gives you access to multiple large language models, and you can manually choose the one you want to use here on the drop-down menu. But if you select RouteLLM, your request is automatically routed to the model that's best suited for that task. And this is really useful because not all models are good at the same things. Each one has its own strengths depending on what you are trying to do. Some models are better at reasoning and coding, while others are better at writing. So instead of having to remember which model to use every time, RouteLLM handles that for you. Let me give you an example. I will say, what factors are driving AI adoption in 2026? And you will notice it routed the request to ChatGPT 5.2, which is better suited for high-level reasoning and research-style questions like this. Down the bottom here, you can regenerate the response using a different model if you like. For example, I'll run this again using Claude Sonnet 4.5. And as you can see, the response is quite different, almost like a different personality, even though the question is exactly the same. Now, let me ask something completely different, like, can you help me build my personal brand website? And watch what happened. It automatically switched to Gemini 3 Flash, which is one of the strongest models right now for coding and technical reasoning. Again, you can still choose a model yourself if you want, but most of the time, letting it route automatically just makes things easier. For me, it works really well because I don't like constantly switching tools, screens, or interface. And here, I can just stay in one place and let the system handle the model selection for me. Now, let's talk about usage because this is usually where people get a bit skeptical. With ChatLLM, you get 2 million compute points every month per user. The important thing to understand is that compute points are not tokens. They are simply how ChatLLM measures usage across everything: text, images, videos, and different AI models. In practical terms, those 2 million compute points typically translate to 15 million plus input tokens on an advanced model like Claude Sonnet 4.5 or ChatGPT 5.2. And if you are using lighter, cheaper models for everyday tasks like ChatGPT 5 or Gemini 3 Flash, which honestly cover most use cases, your usage stretches even further. On top of that, some models offer unlimited usage, so even if you run out of credits, you can keep working without worrying about compute points. These include models like ChatGPT 5 Mini, Gemini 3 Flash, and Llama 4. Compute points are also used for image and video generation. On a typical monthly subscription, you are looking at around 500 premium images and about 45-second videos, depending on which model you use. And if you ever need more, you can buy extra compute points. Any additional compute points you purchase roll over to the next month, but just keep in mind that the 2 million allowance resets every month. For most people using AI on a daily basis, but not pushing it to the extreme, this is more than enough. Now, of course, ChatLLM can also handle everyday tasks, like chatting with documents, for example. Let's say I have this PDF here. It's a public industry report about AI adoption. If I want to ask questions about it, I can just drag the PDF straight into the chat and say something like, "Can you summarize this for me?" Let's see what we get. And there we go. A clear summary of key points broken down in a way that actually is easy to understand. You can also see which model was used, but it does not stop at summarizing. You can ask it to rewrite sections, modify parts of the document, create new versions with changes, or even generate a completely new document based on the original. If you look down here at the bottom, you will also notice there are a lot of built-in actions you can trigger. For example, you can generate a PowerPoint presentation, or if you click on more, you will see even more options like document generation, video analysis, and even text-to-speech. Let me show you how we can create a PowerPoint presentation based on that report. So first, I click on PowerPoint, and here's the prompt I will use. Create a simple presentation summarizing this report on AI adoption. Highlight the key trends, main benefits, and biggest challenge. We click submit, and here's what I like the most. Before it builds the presentation, it actually gives me a couple of template options to choose from. I can go with the default option, which gives a clear, professional-looking template, or I can choose a custom template and upload my own files so it matches my brand guidelines, company colors, or any specific design preferences. For this example, I will just stick with the default template to keep things simple. Then I click Submit. You will notice that ChatLLM actually redirects these requests to the Deep Agent, since that's the best mode for creating presentations. For now, I will just follow its recommendation, but we will talk more about Deep Agent later in this video. At this point, Deep Agent starts asking a few clarifying questions, things like how many slides and the overall style and tone. So I'll answer those real quick. And here we can see the presentation being created, and I'll be right back once it's done. Well, it took about 3 minutes, and here's our 5-slide presentation. And just keep in mind, I didn't give it any specific design or style guidelines here. With a bit more direction, you can definitely get a much more polished presentation. From here, we can export the presentation as a PDF, PowerPoint, or Google Slides, which makes editing very easy. Now, let's talk about image and video generation. With ChatLLM, you get access to multiple image and video models, all in the same place. For images, if I click on Generate Image, you can see the list of models available here. I'll be honest, I haven't tested every single one of these yet, but for this video, I will keep it simple and use Flux 2 Pro, which is great for cinematic style images. Let's try a quick example. Here's my prompt. I'll go ahead and hit Generate. And there we go. That's actually a pretty impressive result. And here's another example I generated earlier using Nano Banana Pro. And the same idea applies to video generation. If I click on More and then Video Generation, you can see all the video models available here. Things like Sora, Kling, and even Runaway. I'll just show you a quick example using Sora 2. Here's my prompt. I'll hit Generate, and let's see the result. And here's another example I generated earlier using Kling 2.6. Another feature I actually use a lot is Humanize. Humanize is useful when you want the output to sound more natural, more conversational, and closer to how a real person would write. To show you how this works, I'm going to generate a short 200-word essay about the importance of critical thinking in the age of AI. I will then copy the result and paste it into an AI detector. As you can see, this first version is clearly flagged as 100% AI generated. Now, I'll head back to ChatLLM, and just below the response, I will click on Humanize, then AI detect proof, and click Regenerate. Now, ChatLLM will rewrite the text, keeping the meaning the same but improving the flow, the tone, and the sentence structure. I will copy this new version, and then let's test it again with the AI detector. And this time it shows 0% likely to be AI rated. That's pretty cool. ChatLLM says we may need to run the Humanize feature 2 to 3 times on the same text until the tone feels right and truly natural. Each pass slightly refines the language, making it sound more human. I only did it once for this example, and as you can see, it worked really well. Another way to use Humanize is by opening a new chat, clicking on More, selecting Humanize, choosing AI detector proof, and hitting apply. From that point on, every response in that chat will be humanized automatically. Now, let's talk about Deep Agent. We briefly saw it in action earlier when we create a PowerPoint presentation, but I would like to spend a little bit more time on it now. This isn't just a normal chat assistant. It's more like an AI agent that can handle multi-step tasks for you. You can think of it as having a small team of specialists working together in the background. Deep Agent can help with things like building entire websites or web apps, creating PowerPoint presentations or technical reports, research and data analysis, even automated tasks using Agent. It can also integrate with common tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, Google Drive, and Gmail, for example, which makes it useful in real-world scenarios. Let me give you a simple example. Here's my Google Calendar. Pretty boring, I know. Just YouTube and work. That's all I do. Anyway, I will connect Deep Agent to my Google Calendar. Choose my account, click Continue, then continue again. Then I will ask Deep Agent something simple just to illustrate what we can do with it. Something like review my Google Calendar and suggest one 30 minutes focus block for each day for the rest of this week, avoiding existing meetings. Then I hit submit. Then it gets back to me with a few clarifying questions, things like my preference or my constraints. I will just answer those and hit submit. Now it starts analyzing my calendar and thinking through the best option. After a moment, it comes back with recommendations. In this case, between 6:45 and 7:15 a.m. I'll just say yes, go ahead and create it. And there we go. All done. Now, if I go back to my calendar, I can see those focus blocks added exactly between 6:45 and 7:15 a.m. Deep Agent alone is a super powerful tool and truly deserves its own video. But for now, let's look at how ChatLLM works when you are collaborating with others. You can invite unlimited team members, share conversations, and work from the same context. To add a team member, simply click on Invite on the top here and select Invite Team. It also integrates well with tools like Slack, Teams, Google Drive, and OneDrive, making it easy to fit into an existing workflow. What is most interesting is the project management aspect. You can organize everything by client, campaign, or project type. This is especially useful if you are working with others and don't want to rebuild the same prompts or explanations over and over again. Everyone sees the same information, which keeps things consistent. One last thing I want to quickly mention is Abacus AI Desktop. This is basically a desktop AI agent that brings ChatLLM directly into your local environment. It's especially powerful for developers and more technical users because it can help with things like intelligent code assistant, workflow automation, and interacting with your desktop tools without relying on the browser. But it goes beyond just coding. It also supports things like agent-style browsing, real-time desktop context, and automating repetitive workflows. You also get access to Desktop Listener, which acts like a real-time AI assistant during meetings. It can listen to what's happening on your desktop and help answer questions as you go. On top of that, you can interact with multiple AI models directly from your desktop using the chat mode, so you don't even need to open a browser to work with AI. There is a lot packed into AI Desktop, and according to Abacus, it even outperformed tools like Claude and Codex on key benchmarks. So if you are a power user or a developer, this is one of those features that can seriously level up how you work. Look, to be honest, there's a lot more inside ChatLLM that I could talk about, but if I tried to cover everything in one video, this would get way too long. ChatLLM isn't about replacing AI models. It's about bringing them all together in one place with less friction, less cost, and a cleaner workflow. For just $10 a month, you get access to major AI models, professional-grade creative tools, a development environment, and AI agents that can handle more complex tasks. If you are already using AI regularly and paying for multiple tools, this can really simplify your setup and save you a lot of money. If you want to check it out, I've left a link in the description below and in the pinned comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.